Welcome back to What's On Yours, a weekly chat about books, movies, music, and TV. I'm Michael Hennessy.
And I'm Cindy Smith.
So how was your week since the last show there, Cindy?
It was good. It was Easter weekend, nice 5-day weekend, so
Wow, 5-day weekend.
5-day weekend.
I remember those days back in school.
Yeah. Nice long 5-day weekend, which is really nice.
Now, so did you dig into any of the books that you had last week with the 5-day weekend?
No. Well, to my defense, Friday we were busy. Saturday we had hockey. Sunday was Easter, so I kind of just chilled. Yesterday it was so nice. We went out in the afternoon. But today I'm going to dip into The Girl on the Train.
Girl on the Train. Similar accolades to Gone Girl.
Gone
apparently.
Girl, which just keeps making a recurrence for many weeks to come.
Do you think they are instantly going to be making Girl on the Train into a movie?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
I really wouldn't be surprised.
I think you're onto something with that. The
I-
premise seems like it's a very visual thing because she's always looking out the window on her
Yeah.
transit in.
I mean, it only makes sense just because it's like that kind of a book.
Mm-hmm.
I would go and see it
You
if it
would,
was
huh?
made into a play. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just, maybe I'll think differently after reading the book,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it might be something I'd want to watch.
Excellent. And when that's done, that'll be up on Cindy's Love of Books.
Probably in May, just because it's a book that I bought. So I'm starting to get post ready for when I go to New York. So it'll probably be in May.
Yay's coming up. That's right.
Like less than a month and a half.
Fantastic. You must be getting excited.
I am getting excited.
And there's particular authors you already have lined up to see?
They haven't really released anything.
Okay.
So that usually be anytime from now until like the middle of May, they start releasing like who's going to be there and
Okay.
yeah.
And certainly do we meet up with quite a few book bloggers there as well?
Yes, I'm hoping to. Yeah.
That's good. And just a quick mention, condolences up to Sheila as
Yes.
well. One of your
From
fellow
Book
book
Journey.
bloggers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad news.
Very sad news. Yeah.
For me, I didn't read books. I read screenplays. I read a couple of classics.
Mhm.
I read the screenplay for Casablanca again. It's
Ah,
just fantastic. I mean, you can just dive right back into it. Either if you're watching the movie, you can dive back into it anytime. Same thing with the screenplay. It's wonderfully written.
That's it. It's a classic movie.
It is. It's really enjoyable. And what was the other one that I Strange Days. Strange Days. It was co-written by James Cameron with his then wife Catherine Bigelow. She directed the movie. Ray Fiennes, Angela Bassett, a couple other, Tom Sizemore.
Okay.
20 years ago. 20 years ago. Very interesting.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
a precursor to the whole virtual reality and how the guy wearing a virtual reality headset recorded something. Well, actually, somebody else recorded something that was people would kill for. So, very interesting how the VR 20 years later, VR is starting to come to the fringes of mainstream.
It is.
Oculus and all those other ones. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So those are the two screenplays that I really focused on this past week. I mean, there's some other horror screenplays I've read as well. A lot of focus on the horror since that's kind of what I'm focusing on writing for screenplays now.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So movie-wise, though,
Yes.
did you get to see anything?
I did, and I know you're going to be mad. The Wizard of Oz.
Ah.
I had to. It was like it was a perfect time.
Easter weekend, Oz time.
Yeah.
You-
But I will still watch it with you.
Oh well.
Live tweet it.
You'd be like, oh, this is a good part. Watch this.
No, because it was funny when we watched it again. Like I watched it like many times, and there were still things that popped up that I'm like, I didn't notice that in that one. I didn't notice that. So
What, the hanging munchkin? No.
no, I thought it was just somebody moving in the background, but no, it's just like certain scenery. I'm like, I don't remember that in. Yeah.
It's a long time since I've seen it. I bought the Blu-ray several years ago, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. I bought the Blu-ray. I didn't watch it. I bought it to watch with the kids.
Now we need a family Twitter party. That's what we need to do. Yeah.
Well, I've watched a couple of I'm not quite sure you'd enjoy them. The creepy, scary movies. No.
Sorry.
Well, one was not really a horror movie. It was Sin City: A Dame to Kill For.
Okay.
That was like the adapted from Frank Miller's graphic novel work.
Okay.
And Seven. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
David Fincher's excellent movie. Andrew, the screenwriter for that. Fantastic. It was just a fantastic screenplay as well. Very dark, very unsettling. One of the great endings for these kind of movies. Yeah. If you're at all interested in, and you haven't already seen it, I mean, definitely pick it up. It's really, yeah, it's a style David Fincher has continued to use. I mean, you can tell he's lent his style to it. You know, his big breakout. I think the one before that he had was The Game with Michael Douglas, but this was his real, like, when he did this one, people were like, ooh.
Okay.
Really
I've never
impressed.
seen it.
No, it's a good movie, but it's also dark. So, based around the 7 deadly sins.
Okay.
A serial killer who kills people according to the sin list. And yeah, Morgan Freeman is the veteran cop. Brad Pitt's the rookie cop coming in from out of town. Not like brand new out of the academy, but he was like in a homicide in a small town.
Okay.
Brad Pitt comes in, and Morgan Freeman's like retiring at the end of the week, and they catch this case, and they just go through it. And Gwyneth Paltrow is Brad Pitt's wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, never seen it. I don't know why I've never seen it.
Well, I mean, if you're not into the thriller / horror, there's no reason that you seek it out. But it's suspenseful too. So you'd like that, but there's some pretty gross things too.
Okay.
So prepared, you might jump a few times. So have a cushion in front of your face, kind of thing.
I won't be watching it then. Sorry. I have an overactive imagination now, so I don't need anything to offset that where I'm not sleeping for a week.
Oh yes. No, it would nestle into the crooks of your mind and keep you awake late at night. What was that?
That's exactly me. Not gonna happen.
No. Oh, and taking a drink from the owl mug. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
Now, music. Any Easter music in, or?
I just Spotify.
Yeah.
I've had that, as I'm cleaning, that's been playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just take it with your iPad through the whole house, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very handy.
And for me, especially, it's better than listening to the radio when I'm cleaning, because then, you have like 2 or 3 songs, and then it goes into like, unnecessary chatter.
Okay.
So, as long as the music's playing the whole time, then it's fine.
I'm just curious. I just saw this. Do you listen to any podcasts?
I haven't done podcasts yet.
Okay. There's some really good ones out there. I catch a couple of the screenwriting ones.
Okay.
Big one is there's Nerdist Panel. There's Script Notes. There's some really good ones. Brian Koppelman has one. I think The Moment, it's called. But they're great. But even some CBC shows are available as podcasts as well. Under the Influence, which is one that I enjoy. He always talks about the different parts of advertising. It's really interesting. Yeah, so I tend to use those when I'm doing something where I can't really do something else.
Okay.
Like if my hands are occupied, if I'm doing something, then I'll listen to the podcast while I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But not writing though.
No.
No, because it just it occupies like that kind of part of the brain that would distract from writing.
That's it.
Well, for me, the Passion soundtrack, Peter Gabriel did for Martin Scorsese when he did the movie The Last Temptation of Christ. It's basically, you would consider it as world music. Peter Gabriel lined up a whole crew of amazing musicians from around the world, and just predominantly in Africa, Middle East, and just is fantastic. I've listened to that for 20 years. It's just fantastic, soundtrack, and also the Mission soundtrack. Jeremy Irons, Robert De Niro starred in that movie. The soundtrack, the score for the movie by Ennio Morricone, excellent, just beautiful. Gabriel's Oboe. That theme song will just be with me forever. Excellent soundtrack, and both of them, somewhat related with Easter.
Okay.
So excellent. I enjoyed both of them. So the big question is, where are your picks to win Amazing Race and Survivor? Are they still there?
I think Amazing Race just came back last Friday, which I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Survivor, they're getting rid of the big guns. They're
But is
like
the mailman there?
the mailman is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as I know.
But
Yeah.
now it's not like it used to be. If you don't catch a show,
You've missed something.
but you will no longer be able to miss shows now. No excuses for you now.
No, we've got a PVR. Yeah,
You've entered a whole world
PVR,
of
DVR,
time suck.
whatever it's called. But it's great because now there's no reason not to miss something. You just schedule it in and
zoom through those commercials.
oh yeah, that's like the best.
Mhm.
It's like watching a DVD.
Yeah,
Fast forward.
excellent.
Yeah. What have I done without a PVR before this?
Had more time to do other things, I think.
I don't think so. Sat and watched commercials or got up to get something.
I see.
Yeah.
Um,
And you?
well, we are going through the second half now of season 6 of Sopranos. I mean, Sopranos, it's a classic. It is one of the best TV shows of all time. Super well written. That's where Matthew Weiner cut his teeth, who is the creator and showrunner for Mad Men, which is starting its final season now.
The final season, apparently.
Have you watched Mad Men?
I haven't watched.
I have not really. I watched it a little bit, and it just didn't click with me.
Yeah. I think I might have watched part of a first episode, but I've lost interest.
Mm-hmm.
If I was getting up multiple times,
Yeah.
then that's my sign that it's, yeah. And I'm not missing anything.
Well, it's interesting. Sopranos guy, midlife crisis. Mad Men guy, midlife crisis. White middle-aged guy, midlife crisis.
Yeah.
But Soprano, on its surface, there's something to keep your attention.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the mafia. There's all these other things that, on a superficial level, can keep your attention. Right.
That's it.
There's something deeper, but there's something on the surface as well.
Yeah.
Mad Men, when I was watching it, it's don't get me wrong, it's a very intelligently written show.
Yeah.
And there's layers to it. But
Yeah.
I just kind of,
Yeah.
I find it a little boring.
Yeah. No, and that's true. I mean, if the show can't grasp me with that first episode, yeah, it's a no-go for me.
I think you can admire something for it's constructed really well,
Yeah.
and there's deep meaning to it and all that, and still not particularly be a fan of it. I think that's the camp that I'm in.
Yeah.
I think maybe when the whole thing wraps up and I watch it from beginning to end in a compressed time frame, that might help.
Yeah.
But for me, it's never been a show that I can't wait to see what happens next week. It's never
That's it.
happened for me.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and
No,
but I'll tell you, Game of Thrones and Orphan Black. Those are two shows that are starting back up in April. We'll be looking forward to seeing that.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Well, it's an interesting show. It's fun. I mean, it's not deep in the terms of Mad Men, Sopranos, Breaking Bad kind of thing, but it's a good show as well. Predominantly, specifically for how they took this sprawling, immense, huge series of novels that George Martin wrote and actually made it understandable.
That's it.
There's like literally so many characters in the novels, and they've condensed and they've combined and they've taken the parts to convey the gist of the story, so you're not lost, but there's still a whole lot of information being conveyed.
That's it. Well, that's like the Outlanders too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never read the books, and I have no desire to see the show.
Oh, okay.
And I know people love the books and the show, but for me, there's nothing there that makes me want to just dig into it. So.
Well, Outlander, I think, is one of the shows that got the green light to proceed from the immense success of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones is really the first real fantasy world setting that's really, really gone mainstream. I mean, there's been other ones in the past, like Xena, Lucy Lawless, but those have always been kind of on the fringe.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones has really broken through.
But see, for Game of Thrones, this came out as a book.
Yeah.
So he's got that following there, and now people who read the books want to see how it plays out.
But it's broken past. It's broken past just that fantasy novel reading group into the mainstream, in large part because of HBO. Because it's a quality show, and it's on HBO, so that instantly gives it like credibility to watch.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some other ones have picked up on that too, in similar shows. So Orphan Black, Canadian British collaboration, excellent show. Tatiana Maslany, fantastic actress. She plays like 5 different characters on the show.
Wow.
Grueling how she has to film that, because she has to film her thing, then she has to get into change her makeup, change everything, and film other characters with their own particular mannerisms. Amazing. Yeah, and it's interesting too, because on its surface it's kind of appealing, like the science fiction thing about the clones and all the different characters. But going deeper than that, it's about there's examinations of like sexuality. What does it mean to be a woman? Because they have these different personalities, and what it means to be a person, and with the genetic makeup of you, how that impacts who you are. It's interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a good show, and definitely a Canadian success story.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and that's for TV. You have a pick for the week?
Not really. No.
No.
No. Maybe next week.
Okay, you're gonna do a double pick next week.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 7 as my pick of the week. Classic flick, nice and dark, and it introduced a whole stream of copycats. Serial killer, that kind of really, really dark intro. Yeah. Classic. Go take a look at it if you haven't.
Maybe I'll have to give it a try.
Yes, do it late at night when nobody's home.
No.
Yes.
I know.
Power goes out.
No. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Sorry.
Oh well, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, and then I would not sleep for like a week.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, when you really have to do a lot of reading, watch that and you won't sleep, and you can read as much as you want.
Sadly, I'm the kind of person who needs to get a little bit of sleep at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 hours should be okay.
Lately it's been like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours a night. So.
Wow. Why so little?
I don't know. It just, I go to bed tired, but then come 1:30, 2 o'clock, I'm wide awake.
Really?
So I don't know if it's something I'm doing during the day.
Maybe you're missing your window.
I don't know.
You know what? If you don't already have it, get one of those eye masks.
Yeah.
Knock your head out.
Have to.
Put your eyes to sleep.
That's it, because I've taken away the iPad at nighttime. I don't do that. I shut the computer down earlier, just to kind of, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I shall find out.
Well, if you're staying awake, get out of bed, read your book.
Read a book, but I ain't watching no movie.
No movie, okay.
Sorry.
Well, I think that covers it for this week, right?
That's our show.
That is it. I mean,
number 13.
Nice. Lucky 13.
That's it. And it's not a Friday.
And the countdown continues towards BEA. We're going to start talking about your trip to BEA and who you're going to see there, and
That's
lots of
it.
interesting information coming up.
It's going to be fun.
Cool. Very good. Well, until next week then.
Until next week.
Have a great week.
You too.
Thanks for the lovely chat.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.